getting into La La Land. With summer reading, we have this focus on coloring our world. And I feel like this is such a beautiful fit because our emotions create our perception of whatever's going on. I love to talk about that moment we step out of bed, that Lego that I always talk about. You step on the Lego, your foot's hurting. That moment turns into this crappy morning, which turns into the first thing you're complaining about every time, every person you see. Oh my God, my foot, look at me limping. That moment creates an emotion, and we choose that emotion to color the rest of our morning, the rest of our day, and sometimes even the next day, which slowly, without even us knowing, this becomes this trait that other people can identify with or us with. And then that is our personality, whether we're actively engaging in that or if it's just sort of oozed out into our life. And our personality is always going to be our personal reality. So as we walk through colors with our meditation, last week we talked about red and orange. This week we're going to linger on orange a little bit, and we're going to transition into yellow. Um, these these colors associate, like what's in my mind, they associate with working up our chakra system, which is these energy centers in our center body that 100% correlate with glands in our body. Science has proven these glands emit and help regulate emotions. And thousands of years ago, there was a belief system that this area of our body was represented by a color and represented by some emotion. And so, with this attention to what would be our second chakra, our sacral chakra, a lot of people know what our sacrum is. At the bottom of our spine, we have this triangle bone that is kind of near our hips in the back. That is that sacral chakra. Above that, where our ribs come together, our sternum comes down, our ribs come around. We have this little like soft spot. There's a xiphoid process right here. It's our diaphragm. We have a lot of things going on where our abdomen starts. That's our solar plexus, and that's the quote unquote yellow is where I have my attention here with this orange and yellow. So thinking of these colors, thinking of this like little introduction of like emotions and chakras and whatever, what emotions come up? If anybody wants to share, I have a little list of guiding things. If nobody wants to speak, that's fine. But does anybody have an emotion that comes up when you think of yellow or orange necessarily? Or not really?
No, it just seemed like a happy color.
A happy color? Okay.
Feel good.
Yeah, you're wearing yellow.
Yeah,
You did great. So a happy color. So happy. Great. My first thought is like yellow belly, which I feel like associates with like fear or uh the like hiding. I don't know how else to describe that. Where I think that's like a term from cowboy time where people were described as yellow belly. Um, and anybody else have an idea? And colors happy or negative or positive, so to speak. But my thought for some reason goes right to that. Anyone else want to share an emotion? Positive, negative? Yeah.
As to what it means.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yellow.
Polarity therapy.
But yellow, I love yellow, but I don't feel like it wears me well.
Okay.
So, but I guess when I think of yellow, I think of the sun, sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
yellow,
Yeah.
whereas orange is to me is a warmer color.
Warmer. Yep. Yep. I feel like there's a lot of pressure for me with yellow, that it's like that, like happy, and that pressure, there's like avoidance behavior kind of thing. And yellow, this chakra area, it represent or yeah, it represents what we're letting go of and what we're deciding to keep, which is a very difficult thing for me when I'm looking at my hoards of stuff, because whatever I look at, I can like tell a story of how I'm going to use it, how it's useful, like what I need it for later, how much money it's saving me, which is not that third chakra energy thriving. We have the orange energy, the orange chakra, that sacral chakra. That's how we bring things out into our world. So we have our foundational beliefs, and then it's how we bring them up into the world to show them what's going on. Hello. Hi. Find a place to seat. I see little seats. I see big seats, blankets and pillows. If that feels good to be on the floor. And you can feel free to move around, do whatever you need to do. We're talking about colors, orange and yellow, and emotions that we think of when we think of those colors. Are there any emotions or feelings or thoughts that come to mind with the colors of yellow or orange for you guys? Pumpkins, yeah. Cooler weather. Yeah, nice. Anything else, kiddos? No? Do you have a dislike or a like for orange or yellow? We were just talking about whether we like them or not, whether we're kind of avoiding it or not. You do not like yellow? Okay. And what about orange? Yeah, good. Yeah, yeah. Blue can make red. That's right. It's one of those primary colors. That's correct. Do you know what the other primary colors are? There's three of them. What's the other one? Green. That's my favorite color. I can't wait till we get to green because I have so many green clothes and blue clothes to wear. This like orange, red, and yellow is difficult for me because this is about all I have. Um, so we shared some like the joy, the happiness, and like the sunlight of that color yellow. And I shared that it feels like a lot of pressure for me to like be in a good mood or like I don't know, be like loud. I feel like I talk a lot, but I feel like I don't like I'm not like this a lot. I feel like I'm sharing my passion in this like low light. I don't know what to call that. Not yellow. I do not share that in yellow. Um, so, and then we touched in a little bit about chakras, and I wanted to talk about um, orange down here in the belly, yellow again up here where the ribs come together, and how they might be associated with some negative emotions, and wondering about how that might be held in our body and how that might be holding us back from the yellow, the sunlight, that expression of joy, and courage is also in there for especially this area of the body. If anyone's ever done yoga, there's the pose, the warrior pose, where it's very expressive of the center body. This is also called our warrior chakra. And when we move forward, when we are courageous, we tend to have that superhero pose. And I'm wondering if we could imagine that superhero pose, that superhero pose of courage, of opening up that front body, imagining that color of yellow, and that color of orange, and how that might be part of something that we might be afraid of, we might dislike, and why. I shared a little bit of my journey with that curiosity of the pressure that comes with that expectation, and imagining, what if I let go of that? What would it take for me to embrace that color? That feeling of courage, of moving into this place of that story, letting that story go, finding a new story, telling a story of courage. And we can wander around. We can safe place. Yep. No containers. We're here for just being curious. Listening to what our body is asking of us. And we can listen to what our body wants. When we get in that cycle, when we get in that pattern of taking that moment, why do I feel so restless? What is it that I want to do? How can I use my body to meet the need of the mind, heart, my spirit, my chi, my prana, something out there that might be talking to me, using that vessel of the body to get my attention. And it's okay to make the noises. It's okay to fidget, because we're here for that moment of listening. And that feels good to make that sound. Does that feel good to make that sound? And feels good to have permission from others. And then we can start to understand this other story. Maybe nobody cares that I'm making this. Maybe it feels better for everyone that I'm making this sound. Now I have courage to make this sound, and maybe now I don't need to make this sound anymore. Last week we talked a little bit about the negative emotions, and we touched in on anger, which is a form of fear, and being curious about what keeps us in that cycle of not engaging in courage. Brene Brown is a beautiful vessel for talking about courage. Her books, her YouTube, her speeches, all kinds of stuff. She's always talking about courage and how that is part of the cycle of fear. There's no courage without that vulnerability. You're always in your safe place. You're never tapping into the strength and the courage that is your potential. And I think of yellow, I think of a lion, I think of that courage, that bravery, that journey in the Wizard of Oz, what the lion represented, what the lion overcame. Taking this moment now, things feel a little bit more settled. I'm focusing on us who have arrived here. This is our moment. There's nothing happening that needs our attention other than what's inside. This is our moment. This is your moment for you. Be courageous, be brave. Demand to come inward. That takes courage. That takes letting go. And we search for that perfect moment, not recognizing that the moment we have is perfect for something. And the more we embrace that, the more we arrive at the perfect moment, something else. So this is our perfect moment. Being curious about chakras, emotions, fears, finding that lion, finding yellow, while we enjoy the sounds around us. That's the sound of life. That's the sound of curiosity. That's the sound of engagement. And what's the sound inside of us? So we're going to focus on the breath. I'm going to take my hands and I'm putting them on my ribs, my belly. I'm choosing both hands on that place we talked about, that solar plexus, where the ribs come together, the sternum comes down. Whatever feels good, I'm going to invite you to bring your hands into this practice. And those healing, beautiful, loving hands are going to take a moment to engage with you, your hands, your body, your healing, your journey. And we're going to take 1 minute, which means 6 breath cycles. We'll be right back here. We're not going to look at the clock. You're going to hear me counting my exhale. And we'll be back here in 1 minute to see what might feel different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 more. What might feel different? What might feel easier? What might feel like we could be more courageous as we engage in staying still for another moment? Do the hands feel heavier? The shoulders feel softer? Breath feels easier?
Mama.
And what are we noticing? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anything in the body feel heavier, softer, lighter? Yeah, yeah. How do you feel? Mm-hmm. Like you want to make some music? That's a good feeling to have. Music is about rhythm. And when we have that call to create that rhythm, we could be listening to our body's need for a faster rhythm, a slower rhythm, a more consistent rhythm. The rhythm of the breath and the heart is real. The rhythm of the breath and the heart and the digestion is real. The rhythm of the breath, the heart, and the digestion affecting our cerebral spinal fluid is real. Our lymphatic tissue, our muscle tissue, size and the engagement of our arteries and our veins. All of that is a chain that's related to the rhythm of the breath that we introduce into the body. So the breath is the beginning of that cycle. The breath can affect the heart, those two together, digestion, those three together, even deep tissue, deep fluid that we don't even think about too much, that's cerebral spinal fluid. That is what our nervous system runs on. It surrounds our brain. It's involved in our ears, the pressure of our eyes. That breath is that first link to all of that tissue finding that new rhythm, finding that new pulse. Thinking of how much courage it takes to get to this moment. We just stopped our life, arrived here in this place, didn't know what it was gonna be like, how it was all gonna come together, what we were gonna be doing. The courage of this moment and recognizing that stepping forward. What has that brought us? The connection, new permission, this new invitation to do nothing. And just imagine how that feels. Doing nothing for that 1 minute, doing nothing for 5 minutes. How does that affect our nourishment, our bravery, our courage, our joy? So taking one more moment, breathing again, imagining maybe this area of our body, imagining that feeling of courage, imagining stepping away from our body, stepping away from our demands of life, and enjoying our quiet moment, our quiet moment inside. As we listen to life happening, embracing that quietness, imagining breath in to the body and how quiet that is, how much that serves us. And that breath out, how quiet that can be, that's how much that serves us. So breath in, another breath out, another breath in, and another breath out. A breath in and out. And breath in. Deep. And then breath full. Let go of that fear. Let go of expectations. Let go of any pressure. Be this thing. Do this thing. Creating our own story of courage, even if that is that courage of taking that 1 minute for us. It takes a lot. When we do that, we arrive in our next moment more whole. More of us is there. Less fear, less exhaustion. That courage that renews us, brings us back into a cycle of love. We can see things, we can color our world with that courage, that permission to take another minute. Notice our emotion, notice our mood. Where did that come from? How is that affecting me in this moment? And what would I rather choose? What would I rather be in this moment? How do I get there? Coloring that world with a little more love, a little more patience, that permission to change. All of that begins with that awareness of where we are in this moment and what we need. We've been together for about a half hour. Beautiful time, beautiful experience. As we add some gentle movement to the body to bring it back into the world, our world. We have the same stresses that show up, but maybe we can engage with them a little bit differently, a little softer, more courage to ask for what we need. I've had my eyes closed. I'm going to open my eyes, look around, and invite you to do the same. Maybe even stand up, or I'm going to stretch my legs out. And notice again those words that I'm using. Notice what feels different. We're not assessing stress. We're not looking for pain. We're just noticing. Do my shoulders feel different? Does my neck feel different? Do my legs feel different? Is there anything different that anyone notices that they want to share?
I feel very
Great.
yeah.
Great.
And I was surprised that the sound was. I just feel like I'm sitting outside, and instead of birds, you hear some voices.
Yeah.
And you hear little motions like the leaves on it. I mean,
Yeah.
there was really not much.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. I feel like you made the comment in the beginning about how quiet it was. And when I do my meditation classes, we have the people that live upstairs are there. They travel a lot and they kind of leave. And I'm like, don't, because it's so weird. The quiet is so weird for me. And we, there's traffic and there's usually, there's this awful intersection. People are always like beeping their horn and screeching and yelling. And I love hearing life happening because it's like, yeah, life goes on. When I take time for me, life goes on when I'm doing this thing that I love. And I can get right back into life. But it changes that perception of like, really? Did I think that was going to be annoying? Yeah, that's just life. Yeah. And I love how you kind of compared it to like the leaves and the birds and how it's like these inside noises are still these little forms of life all around us. Yeah. It's great. Anything else anybody notices?
It almost helps me focus on the noise rather.
Yeah, because they're constant, right? Yeah. Those voices in the head, what are they saying? And I think sometimes that chaos is very well served when you kind of I compare it to like the ringing of the bell, like when we chime like a bowl or ring the bell, and like it sounds like it's not making a noise anymore, but then when we touch it, it was like, oh yeah, like I think that was saying something, but we can't hear it, we can't like perceive it. And when we take that away in these moments like this, I feel like it's almost like touching that bell to just be like, I know I can't hear you, but I know there's like this thing, and like I can't hear these other things, but like right now we're gonna just be quiet, letting it go. That's great. I'm glad that you had that moment. Anybody else?
So my shoulders, they were really tense when I got here. They feel more lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like the tension just burst there. But was.
Yeah. And what do you think helped with that? The breath or just the moment? Or
I think the breathing actually helps because I think we don't realize that every breath we take helps our body so many times, just the inhaling and exhaling.
Yeah.
When we're sick, we cough and and then you don't feel it, and then you're like, oh, but when I breathe, you take those deep breaths and it hurts, but now you're taking the deep breaths here and you're relaxing. It's all better.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The breath is tied to the vagus nerve, which a lot of people are hearing about the vagus nerve with anxiety and even just overall stress of the body, the stress response. Our vagus nerve, its job is to respond to that. And when I was talking about how that breathing then affects the heart and the digestion, that's all how our vagus nerve, it leaves from our brain, it doesn't go through our spinal cord, it leaves our brain and goes directly to our heart and our diaphragm and our intestines. Its job is to shift the nervous system into where it needs to be for the stress response, to get away from the dragon. And so when we're in the stress response, we are not focused on digestion, we are not focused on relaxing, we're focused on survival. So our blood flow is different, our nervous system's different, our immune system is different, everything is different. And we're either in the stress response or the relaxation response. We're never in both.
Yeah. I recently learned about the vagus nerve, and I didn't know that was like the most important nerve of the whole body.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Research, and I was like, wow, all the components that where it's connected, it's amazing.
It is, really. The body is amazing. Yeah. And it's, it's designed to express, to get our attention and to keep us safe. And I think when we imagine that as this like layer, this physical layer that represents everything else that we maybe don't even understand or even necessarily believe in. Like, what makes my body different than your body? You know, we have the same organs, we have the same vessels, we have the same whatever, but there's something that's like different. And whatever that is that makes us different, I feel like that's part of that communication of what our body's trying to tell us. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if that I put all that together how I wanted to. But and then getting back to the breath, I wanted to say this and then I like got into my talking coma and then I didn't say it. Uh, I really push that concept of the 6 breath cycles. Like I talk about it all the time because it really breaks us out of that stress response. It has the potential of breaking us out of that stress response. And we almost everybody can count to 6, and that is 1 minute of our life. And we can keep track of time without looking at time or setting a timer or staring at our, this time is usually contributing to our stress level. And the deep breathing and focusing on the exhale, I always encourage that counting on the exhale because that our body then becomes focused on the exhale more than the other parts of the breathing. And exhale is usually what happens when we're trying to initiate the transition from the stress response to the I'm safe response. So, and I love giving the example of like if we were playing hide and seek and like I had the perfect hiding spot and I didn't want anyone to know about it. And then like here she comes around the corner. I'm gonna like hold my breath and I'm gonna get real small and I'm gonna be really still and I'm just gonna imagine you like walking away. And then you do walk away and nobody finds my spot. The first thing I'm gonna do is what? I did it. Perfect hiding spot is still the perfect hiding spot. And then I talked to local schools with my 6 breath and the 1 minute of self-care. And the people that then the school districts really resonate with it, especially the school bus drivers, because they say, when that kid gets off the bus, I shut the door and I'm like, whoo, I made it. And it really, it is that's our subconscious mind takes over and it pushes us to be like, okay, we're safe. So that 1 minute, 6 breaths, I'm just counting that 6 times. I'm safe. We're not saying that, but we're saying that. I'm safe. That's breath number 2. I'm safe. That's breath number 3. We start to switch that, all of that, the blood flow, the nervous system, the awareness, the hormone release, we start to switch that into rest and digest. And a lot can feel different in 1 minute. And 1 minute usually feels really doable. Like, yeah, I can go hide in the bathroom. I'm not exaggerating. Go hide in the bathroom and take 1 minute for me. Go find a place, go stand outside. Nobody's going to bother you if you're out there for that 1 minute. And usually they won't find you in that 1 minute, so you can take another minute. Where sunshine helps, fresh air, changing the setting helps, separating from the clock, the timer, whatever, and engaging in that shift. A lot can feel different. And I always encourage that as well. Just noticing what feels different. Whatever you look for, you're going to find. If you look for how tired are my shoulders now, then your focus is on the problem still, that symptom, that expression of stress. When we're just noticing what feels different, we invite in this opportunity of this change and that awareness into what is different. Even if it's like this little 1% of something, we're focusing on that and we're growing that. Does that make sense? Anything anybody else wants to share?
When we're talking about the color yellow, and talked about the Wizard of Oz, and I think it's my was the brick road and the sunflowers. I just sunshine.
Yeah. And that yellow brick road, what does that represent to you?
To me, just represents like going towards the right path, going towards where I want to go.
Yeah. To me, that started telling that story of guidance, opportunity, support, and I feel like there were still options there, and the road got rough, but if there was still that little bit of like something else is here to help me. Yeah. We all have those stories. That's great. Anything else? No? Cool.
It's extremely relaxing. It's like, "Oh, why can't I do this when I get stressed, like in real life, real movement? You know, like kind of hold that yellow color around it.
Yeah.
And being here with noise and other people, it's kind of like a practice thing for
Yeah.
when you're in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a reason why, like, monks go to the monastery to become a monk, because it's so hard to learn that
Mhm.
concept and the theory and that whole belief system out in the real world. So they go with people that are on that same journey
Mhm.
in that isolation, usually like far away, because real life is hard.
Mhm.
And when we're trying to switch on that deep level into new thinking, you know, all of the concepts that go into it, and then there is a journey back out into the world, which is huge. And then
Yeah.
the retreat back into where we want to be, because it's that submersion it's hard.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really hard. And that Joe Dispenza, I think we've talked about him several times. Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks about how that, like, the ultimate meditation is when we're walking and moving around in life and we're still in the dream that we want. We're not in the dream of stress and the nightmare of life, where we're off the pillow, we're engaging, but we're engaging in a way that is full of love. We're not reacting and responding, and we're in our zone. That's like the ultimate meditation. And I believe that.
Been meditating for many, many years. I just started doing it. I've done it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's this the family meditation thing is so huge for me, because I think as a parent, I've been there. I have two kids I see yours are very close. Yeah, mine are 15 months apart. So I had two babies, two different needs. Everybody cries, including me, whatever. And um, later on in my journey with the kids growing up, I was introduced to this thought that energetically, I'm super connected to them. I'm connected, to the pets that arrive in our lives, whatever. And the more I suppress, the more they express. The more I engage in my frustrations and like heal them, the less that they're expressed around me. And it's really kind of an interesting experience to just be like, wow, that self-care, that 1 minute of me chilling out, like I'm not feeding this, whatever. And like the kid can go and play with this thing and make a mess, and then it's going to take 3 seconds to clean it up. And then we had 45 minutes of time to be a human, you can be you. And it goes a long way to changing the whole vibe of our life, which in my belief system, I'm definitely there, where I think everything in our life is this manifestation of either what we're celebrating or what we have to heal. I'm staring at you. I don't mean to, but you're right there. Anything you wanted to share? You were good? No?
No.
No? Okay.
I thought you were talking to her.
Oh, no, no. She's wrangling children. Amazing. Yes. All right, so I feel like we're about done, unless there's anything else anybody wanted to share. Oh, and I was going to say we're here again next week, walking through chakras and colors. Next week we stay a little bit focused again on yellow, that solar plexus chakra, and then we're going to talk about the heart, which is green. So yellow and green. And also next week I'm going to be in my classroom. I have an office down in Owego on Main Street, and I do Monday night meditation through the year, it is every Monday, but in the summer, it's sort of like transitioned and spread out to every other Monday. But the 28th is next week. So Monday at 5, there's meditation there. Again, it's available through Zoom, or you can come down to the classroom. And then we have a lot of family stuff that's happening. My kids are now this big. And we're like, so this afternoon at 1, we're just going to be down there having our family time, and the classroom's open for whoever. We have a bunch of board games. I have to remember to bring origami paper because I keep promising origami folding. Hopefully I'll remember that, but we'll figure it out if I don't remember it. But yeah, Amelia, my daughter, and I, we're just working on a puzzle. My son, a couple of his friends are coming. They play Uno. We were supposed to do sidewalk chalk last week, but everybody just wanted to stay inside because I want the puzzle. I want to get the puzzle done. It's this nightmare. It's a round puzzle. I don't recommend them. And it's also a bunch of butterflies, which I don't know, pretty difficult. What is this? Thank you. I was hoping to have this. So yeah, lots of just low key stuff happening that is summer stuff, just sharing and family and puzzles that are driving me crazy, but also exciting me at the same time. But yeah, so my website, what's that? Well, I'm going to say my website is Align with Sarah. My name has an H on it, .com. And that has all the list of events that's happening. And my office, are you familiar with Owego?
Yeah.
So the VFW is like a few places down from where my office is.
Okay.
So the movie theater's across the street.
Yep.
It's the corner, it's on Main Street. It's the corner of that one-way street. And then AutoZone, I can see like AutoZone off my front porch, but yeah. So I have my private practice there, and then there's a really large room where we have like yoga classes, meditation classes, just educational classes. It's a really beautiful space that I love. I can almost guarantee you're gonna walk in and you're gonna be like hypnotized by the floor. There's this hardwood floor with this like beautiful inlaid pattern, and I know I don't even talk to people when they walk in because they're just like the floor, the floor. I give them a minute to cringe, but yeah, seeing people down there is also fun. And then we'll be here for the next couple weeks. I think there's 3 weeks left. I don't remember. I don't know why I'm looking at you. Yeah.
It is.
I don't remember
on
either.
the-
You have too many things to
the
remember.
library website
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yep. Yep.
And then probably the link to Sarah's
Mhm.
website is.
Yep. I think it is. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And then after all of these classes, we're going to have a full length like learning class about chakras and emotions. And that's the end of September. That's going to be in an evening, I imagine.
Okay.
But yeah, so lots of things. And the summer program, oh my gosh. Donna, did you want to talk about the summer programming to announce anything coming up later today or tomorrow?
Friday. Last week is I do other than like weekly things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Lots of fun stuff. Love it. Well, thank you everyone for being here. And we'll maybe see you next week. Learn about yellow and green. And then this is, I'm not sure if everyone heard this because I was talking about it in the beginning. This is a Zoom meeting and it was recorded. And I'm gonna share that with the library so you'll have a link to come back to it. The class from last week is also there. And then what seems like was easiest was downloading this and then creating